What's up, folks? Today I'm here with Kingdom of Amalur Re-Reckoning. Now, before I start this, I do want to give a huge thank you to the PR from THQ Nordic. As you guys know, my reviews have been late, and it is completely out of my control, and the PR from THQ have been great and understanding, so a huge thank you to Chris and Lee. As us Southerners would say, y'all are some decent folk. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe? And if you would prefer an audio-only version, the link is down below, along with the Discord link. I was provided a code from the devs, so I did not pay the $40 price tag, but I'm about to tell you if it's worth it. My name is Tanner, and this is For Your Money, a different kind of review. Kingdom of Amalur is an interesting story, one that I can't say I've seen before, or at least in the way this one does it. For 10 years, the Tuatha have ravaged war against everyone in Amalur, and for 10 years, the Tuatha seem to be winning due to the fact that once they're put to death, they don't stay dead in the sense of our understanding. To combat this, Professor Hughes created a project known as the Well of Souls, a project that was supposed to bring dead soldiers back to life, but ultimately failed until you were brought in on the slab after a mysterious death, and by some miracle, resurrected. Why you, though? After being recreated in the well, you and everything else around you has no fate, as well as you now have mysterious powers that might prove to be key to winning the war that Gadflow had started in hopes of releasing Tirnoch, a god that has no limits and will bring catastrophic destruction. Now, before you can face them head on, you must first discover why and how you died, why you were chosen by the Well of Souls to be resurrected, and then band together a group of warriors that are willing to help you in saving the kingdom. It's not an overly complex story by any standards, but it had more than enough riveting ideas to pique my interest. Now, along with the many twists and turns, you're going to encounter a variety of fascinating characters that will send you on tons of quests, and the best part about them, they all play out differently. It sounds funny to mention that, but look, we've all reached that point in the Dark Brotherhood where we have killed old buddy a million times outside of Falkreath, and in no way am I comparing these two stories. I'm just saying that it's nice to see that this game lacks repetition. I had about 70 hours in, and I'm telling you, I still had tons of side quests and content to do. Overall, this was a story worth experiencing. For most people, it's going to be the second or third time, and you're going to enjoy it your second or third time. It's a story with well-written dialogue and plenty of lore to keep you busy for a long while. Kingdom of Amalur is a third-person action RPG, more action than you'd find in a lot of RPGs in my opinion. Without a doubt, this game is easily comparable to Dragon Age with the limitations of the open world and in a sense how the combat works, though I do like the combat here a bit better due to the wider variety of moves or combos. Starting off, you get a feel for every playstyle: stealth, magic, swordplay, and bows. It does it in a way that Skyrim did in the beginning, but this is more on top of poking your sides about trying out the different playstyles of combat. Now, combat in this game was something I found to be honestly rather addicting. I stuck with the sword and shield style as I always do, but this time around, contrary to what I said in my No Straight Roads video, I did carry dual-wield daggers. This allows you to assassinate enemies, and you're going to fight anywhere from 1 to 8 baddies, and having the opportunity to take even one out can change things up, because honestly, this combat can and will prove to be difficult at times, even more so when your enemies can do fire, ice, or poison damage. Or perhaps you obtained a curse in a fight and now you gotta pay thousands to a healer to lift it. I mean, it's small things, but you're gonna want to think quick. You can dodge or block for a quick safety measure, or a chance to parry, or use your magic, and this will stun them, giving you time to either attack the stunned enemy, or you can take out a separate enemy without being interrupted. There's quite a few things to consider when you're engaged in battle, but it all becomes habit, even the janked up camera that gets blocked behind the environment. It's still fun combat when it wants to be. There's tons of combos to be unlocked, like different dodge attacks, different counters, longer hit combos, and all of these are based on leveling up. Upgrading consists of 3 parts. First, you'll pick a skill to upgrade, such as blacksmithing, persuasion, lockpicking, etc. And some of these are vital, yes. Some of them I just didn't think were important at all. I would pick persuasion over dispel any day. I never upgraded dispel once, but I almost always dispelled every chest that had been locked by a spell. And even if you fail at dispelling the chest, it still opens, you just get cursed. So what was the point? After that, you'll use skill points to progress your might, finesse, or sorcery, those being the playstyles, and then you have your destiny, which are cards you pick to enhance the playstyles. Your destiny can be changed at any time and are depicted by how upgraded your skills are. Now, I stuck with might, so in my playthrough, my cards kept increasing my attack damage and my block effectiveness. You also have the opportunity to pick a destiny that benefits 2 of the skills. It's just all in a matter of how you want to play the game. Now, I would have liked a revamped skill tree, as this one is rather simple, but it's not that I'm going to gripe over because, it does its job. Now, another major aspect we have is looting, and this game handles the loot system in a way I like, but also dislike. I stuck with about 3 different swords my entire playthrough, and you don't have to. There is tons of loot for you to sift through, but I like the fact that I don't need to switch from an item that I've grown accustomed to. It just makes the game, in my opinion, far more enjoyable. Loot is obtained in the obvious ways, searching corpses, completing quests, but the interesting one to me, surprising enough, is the chest. Now, I've lockpicked in a lot of games, but I've never had to dispel a chest to loot it, and I mentioned before that there's a skill for that. Now, to me, this, yes, is a minor detail, but it was still a creative idea, and it was a fun little minigame. Now, what I don't like is the item limit you're given for the carrying capacity. I would have much rather preferred weight over a set number of items I can carry. Some will disagree, and that's fine, as it would be dumb to deduct points for this. I'm just giving my opinion. As for the world, Kingdom of Amalur has quite massive areas to explore, and each feel diverse and filled with tons of dungeons and villages to discover. This game is going to keep you busy for a long time. 70 hours for me, and I still feel like I haven't scratched the surface of everything this game has to offer, from the many factions you can join, all the way down to the lore stones in the corner of the map. Your work's going to be cut out for you. Alright, so now let's talk about the bugs. I've been kind to this game, but there are some major issues here. The frames at first I wasn't too bothered by, but then as I progressed they would drop lower, and then the effect would last longer, and then eventually it skipped the frame drops and my game would just freeze. Now, as I'll show in the design, it froze in key cutscenes and in the middle of the battle. I mean, it just wanted to crash. My game would not respond, but instead of closing, I would wait. And I've waited at most 10 minutes for the game to unfreeze, and to be sure it wasn't my PC, I loaded Hitman 2 and Crysis Remastered, ran it on high settings, and my PC didn't skip a beat, so whatever was happening is in this game. While nothing's holding this gameplay back, it is a blast, but the freezing occurs way too frequently for this game to be worth a full price tag. The design for this game is a fascinating one, to say the very least. The soundtrack, it was killer. If you enjoy Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit soundtracks, then this is surely going to grasp your interest. Very orchestral, with lighter moving pieces upon more chill moments, and more dark or epic pieces while in battle. And at the end of the game, the soundtrack alone made me feel like Sauron would have been a cakewalk. Graphical wise, this game does look good. I won't tell you it's the biggest improvement I've ever seen, because it's not. I mean, it's really just like an HD port to make it age better, and it does, so there are no complaints here. It does the job. But don't expect it to have the same treatment as Destroy All Humans. Voice acting, as usual, was awesome. Emotion-filled dialogue, neat effects on certain races. I mean, the voice acting is an A+. Now, here's some clips of the overall design to pick your brain.
You are my contact. I should have known. Punctuality is not one of your papal strengths, and you have so few. You may recall our mutual friend, Formerus Hughes. The gnome who brought you back to life? I suspect you would, but I gather you've been quite busy. Well, Scholar Hughes has been missing since the attack on his tower. As his patron, I am quite concerned. I want you to find him. You are, how shall I say, uniquely suited to the task.
In my opinion, Kingdom of Amalur is worth $20 out of $40. This game, while being a nice comeback, as I never thought we would get it, does show its age at certain points, as well as it has major frame and freezing issues. If the freezing didn't occur, this game would easily be in the $30 or above ballpark, but that wasn't the case with my gaming experience here. I will say I do enjoy these revisits from the publisher THQ, and I do want to see more Evil Dead, but whatever we get next time, I will be more than excited to play. That's all I got, folks. If you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe? If not, hit that thumbs down. Till next time, fellas.